Back from the dead, ladies and gentlemen. It's Coach Ábris here, founder of Demi Cycle Protocol, and we've helped over 50 high performers and corporate executives go below 15% body fat, sustainably lose fat, and double their energy levels without counting calories, without training more than 2 to 3 hours per week, or without having to take any kind of unnatural sleep drugs. And I've been still active with all of my different operations in the past week. There has been just one little bottleneck. I've got dengue fever from the mosquitoes here in South America, and hence right now I'm wearing a t-shirt because for the first time it's getting cold this time of the year here, and I gotta protect myself against the mosquitoes. But what does it have to do with high performance, with coaching entrepreneurs and corporate executives, and what you can learn from this video? Okay, so first of all, the most important thing I'm about to talk today is coming back from prolonged sickness or injuries into physical training and working on your health and physique. How can you come back in a way that it will be safe, it will be sustainable, and you won't hurt yourself further? Because I always said restarting is much harder than starting, and I still keep myself to this statement, because when you start something new, you start working on your body, you start working on your health, that's a novel stimulus for you, and you get excited, and the motivation, the initial motivation starts, and then the momentum keeps you going, the momentum of getting results. Of course, this is positive feedback, and it's amazing, right? But when you've been out of the loop, you look into the mirror once you recovered from the sickness or the injury that you had, and you get out of bed, you kind of feel that, okay, your mobility is not there where it used to be. You have definitely lost some endurance, you might have lost some muscle gains, you might have gained some of the fat back, or whatever you've been working on. You are in a worse stage right now, coming back from the injury, coming back from the sickness, than where you used to be before that, and this might discourage you because there is no initial motivation, because you know what you've been capable of and you're not there right now. And there's no momentum because you haven't had positive feedback for a very long time. That's why I'm saying coming back is difficult. And the first step that you can do is that you start training your mind, you start training your brain, and you acknowledge that the human brain is the laziest organ that has ever existed, and it stubbornly keeps just sticking to the same neural pathways, the same activities over and over again. This is what we call habits. And that's inherently true, that when you are sick or when you are on a forced rest period, when you have had an injury, your brain inherently just picks up bad habits. For example, lack of activity, or for example, irregular eating habits. Or for example, in my case, when I had the dengue fever, I had no appetite at all, and I'm still working on like building back to that amount of protein I used to eat before I've got the sickness, right? And it's not gonna happen from day 1 to day 2. I'm just like 95% recovered at this point. And I'm pretty sure that you have experienced, you are experiencing it right now, or will experience the same whenever you have had a serious illness or an injury. And I wanted to tell you that it's completely normal, but you do have the power over your brain to build back your habits. So how does that work is basically whatever is a habit for you right now is the lowest energy activity for your brain. So for your brain, it takes the least amount of calories, the least amount of energy expenditure to do those activities that you are doing right now. So if you're mad at yourself for not being able to get back on a routine or to stick to a certain routine, first of all, evaluate, is that routine sustainable, and could you do that for the rest of your life every single day? Because if not, then probably you need to switch routines. Or if that's a routine that you could actually follow, but you're still not doing it, you are very well aware of what you want to do, what you need to do, and what you actually enjoy doing, but you are doing neither of these. So basically you can have the perfect routine, you're not going to follow it. And the first bottleneck here is your brain. Is that right now the habits that you're cultivating are, so the lowest energy activities for your brain are not the ones that are contributing to your success and your progress with your health. And if you want those habits that will actually get you closer to your goals and you actually also enjoy them, you want those activities as your habits, then you have to force these things in the beginning a little bit, because for your brain it takes approximately 21 days to transform a high energy activity, so something it doesn't want to do, into a low energy activity, so into something which is the default setting. This is what we call habits, and it takes about 90 days to call it a lifestyle. But if you have been just out for a couple of weeks due to your injury or due to your sickness, it will take another 21 days to come back and to reset your brain. Okay, so habits are the first thing. The second thing is mindset. If you remember how well you performed before, if you're aware of what your body was capable of doing, you just need to realize that it won't take you as long, because muscle memory exists, because you have done this before, and anything that you have done before, it will be easier, obviously, for the next time. So all you have to do is push through that first few days, or first few weeks, or just the first few workouts that will get you back on track and restore your former strength. So this is what you need after that. And the third thing that you need is basically taking it slow. Take a deload. When you come back, just train at 70 to 80% of your previous intensity. You don't have to flex, you don't have to ego lift, you don't have to impress anyone. Just hit a certain percentage of what you've been hitting before. It's going to be hard enough for you, buddy, to stimulate progress, but you won't end up killing yourself. So how did this whole thing happen in my case, and how my clients have been able to replicate this? So let me tell you this personal experience. I've been sick, laying in bed for 7 days because of the dengue fever. So I was so stoked and excited about moving here to a completely tranquil countryside environment in San Bernardino that I kind of forgot about mosquitoes, right? I let them bite me because I felt so good, basically sitting out here 24/7, enjoying the nature. And that a couple of weeks ago it was still a very warm weather here in South America. I was actually sleeping in the hammock because it was so chill, and I didn't give a single damn about the mosquitoes biting me. And I have paid the price for my ignorance, because back in my home country in Hungary, I just got used to mosquitoes biting me in the summer. Yeah, sometimes I would grow blisters on my skin because of that. I had some kind of allergy, but I also ignored that. And here I ended up developing this sickness called the dengue fever, which is pretty common with mosquitoes in South America, and usually in basically any place in the southern hemisphere. It could have been more serious, but as I have been a health conscious person who has been strengthening himself for the past couple of years, almost a decade by now, I got away with just fever, migraine, and throat inflammation, and nothing, thank God, nothing serious. But the lesson for you here is that you want to be a health conscious person for the whole year, because you can never know when just a simple mistake, an accident, or maybe your own ignorance will cause you to develop a sickness like this. And then, if you're not a health conscious person by default, there will be bigger problems than you having to spend time away from the gym or physical training in general. And you don't want that. So, in my experience, due to my own ignorance and just me being hyped about being here and spending the whole day outdoors, I've got this fever. I've got 40 degrees Celsius body temperature for the first day. I got completely knocked out. I couldn't even respond to my client messages. I laid in bed for 12 hours, sleeping straight. Next day I wake up, fever is gone, but terrible migraine in the middle and the front of my head remained. No appetite at all, that completely crushed. I think I lost like 3 or 4 kilos in a single week, so like 7-8 pounds or possibly more. And after that, the fever kept returning like every 1 or 2 days. And then I grew a large cyst on the left side of my throat, which made my voice completely go away. That lasted for like 3 or 4 days. And once I came back, I just realized that, damn, it's so difficult to eat the amounts I used to eat before. And I didn't even attempt to train with the intensity that I trained before. So I had to start progressively overloading again. Of course, not from zero. So that's the great thing. If you have a solid physique as a base, and a strong health in general, and the habit of taking your vitamins, your most essential supplements, and moving, walking every single day. So if you've just got these basic things nailed down as a means of taking care of yourself, it will be so much easier to come back, because you will know what you need to do and you will actually do that. But it wouldn't have been possible had I not been practicing my health habits for the past almost a decade and more. This will be actually 9 years that I've been doing some sort of physical movement with the right nutrition next to that. So if you are not in this position yet, you better start building meanwhile you're completely like healthy, or at least free of sicknesses and injuries. So by the time the so-called shit hits the fan, it won't destroy you that much, and it will be easier to come back to your habits, to your fitness routine, and to any kind of health protocol that you might be following. And if there's one thing I might be proud of or anything, there's nothing proud of being stupid and ignorant, nothing to be proud of about being stupid and ignorant and just ignoring mosquitoes in general. So always use some kind of smoke or detergent or something like that if you happen to be surrounded by these tropical beasts. But if there's one thing I can be proud of, is that the natural healing process that I've been going through. So I was like, I don't care about the fever, let the fever do its job, because that's your body fighting against the inflammation, or sorry, fighting against the sickness itself through inflammation. No matter if it is a bacterial infection or a viral infection, for example, the dengue. How I've been able to heal myself is I kind of forced myself a little bit to eat enough protein and fruits. So at least my electrolytes and basic nutrients were more or less sorted. Of course, I've been not eating near the portions I've been eating before. As I mentioned, my appetite completely crashed, but I kept the baseline. I have had my standards, and the only medication basically that I've been taking and been helping me was this so-called, here it is, dragon blood. So I'm not affiliated with the product by any means. Good friend of mine, Lawrence King, shout out to Lawrence, because he saved my week when I was laying in bed. So from his nature doctor we got dragon blood and this other, I don't know what is this, but another plant-based medication. I'm not sure if it is visible, but it says jarabe de hoja mamon orgánico. My Spanish is terrible, so just keep that in mind. But the dragon blood has been helping me immensely. And how amazing it is that you can basically, with all natural compounds and just a few habits in place, you can basically recover yourself from a disease that might as well be deadly. So many people have died from dengue. Of course, not as many as from malaria, but still it's a serious illness, and it could have gone much worse than this. But thanks to my habits and thanks to Lawrence, thanks to the dragon blood, I've been able to recover, and I'm grateful to be here today, out again in nature. A little bit colder because now the South American winter has been set in. We are in Paraguay right now. Like 10 to 15 degrees Celsius is the average nowadays. And of course the weather is much colder and stuff like that, but I'm grateful to sit down here and share my story with you guys. It might not have been difficult, or it might have been much more difficult or nearly impossible had I been overweight, unhealthy, lazy, complacent, and not taking care of my health in the past couple of years. So this is my lesson for today. Always cultivate your healthy habits. Never let them go. And if there is a setback, just train your brain a little bit to get back to your habits, to get back to your routine. And it's gonna be difficult, but only for the first 21 days. And after that, it keeps paying you dividends for life. It's just like as you have muscle memory. If you have done something successfully before, if you have built muscle successfully before, and God forbid you lose it for some reason, it's much easier to gain it back, and it goes much faster than gaining it for the first time. It's just getting derailed from your habits, which makes it temporarily more difficult to get back onto a routine than just starting something completely new. So don't let this discourage you that there is no novel stimulus, because there is the awareness of what your body has been capable of, what you have already accomplished. So no matter how bad injury or sickness you had, there's always a way back. So hopefully you found this video useful and you took away your lessons from this. And sometimes all you need is dragon blood. I'm just joking. All you need is a little bit of a strong mind that will help you get you back on track with your habits. And even if the hiatus with your health journey has been taking for years, there's always a way back. You just need some extra brain power, some extra mindset power over there. And if you find this difficult, and you used to be a healthy person, maybe back in high school or maybe back in college, and you feel like, okay, now it's your time because you are afraid of an illness taking you away from your family, or you're just generally not content with the fact that your health deteriorates as you age, and you're absolutely right about that. So if you don't want to be complacent about this and you're ready to change your health and your physique in 2024, then go to the description below and book a free call with us if you want to find out more about our coaching at Demi Cycle Protocol. If you are serious about making a change, cultivating healthy habits that last for a lifetime, developing a sustainable routine that will get you below 15% body fat, and reach consistent 85 sleep scores with your Oura Ring that we provide for you, if you are ready to make these little changes in your lifestyle, then book a free call with us. If you are not ready, if you prefer to be lazy, if you prefer to procrastinate working on your health goals, then probably we are not a good fit, so don't even bother booking the call. Just make your mind a little bit stronger, and you can do that by watching my previous videos. So thanks for watching, guys. Hit the like button, subscribe, share this with your friends and family, your team members, your colleagues, your employees, and thank you for being with me still on this journey. And yeah, forgive my little hiatus. That was the reason behind it. No more coping, back to training, and let's get this going, guys. See you in the next one.